Hey guys, welcome to Gaming Bed today, bringing out a video for our weapon blueprint series, and today we're going to be covering the Grand Rapids blueprint for the M4 carbine here in Modern Warfare as well as Warzone. So this is a blueprint that's custom for Modern Warfare challenges that I finally went back and unlocked thanks to our community member and moderator Odin, who was playing around with this thing the other day. Maybe go back and actually want to finish the challenges for this. Gives you a really unique integrally suppressed barrel here that's different from the one that you get on the base M4 or any of the other blueprints. So going to go ahead and walk you through how to unlock this, and then we'll get into some gameplay and show off the weapons. So let's go ahead and back out, and we see our final design for the Grand Rapids blueprint. Now, if we back out to challenges, I think this may be, correct me if I'm wrong, this may very well be a PlayStation exclusive blueprint. So if you go to the missions here under challenges, it potentially could be a PlayStation exclusive. I'm not sure. It doesn't say specifically here, so I could be wrong. But you can see the challenges here. Crisis Control is the challenge that you need for core multiplayer, and the objective here, first off, you need to destroy 15 enemy kill streaks, enemy or vehicles or equipment. So enemy kill streaks, just destroy 15 of them over the course of however many games it's going to take you. So that's step 1 of 6. Step 2 of 6 is get 2 headshots without dying 5 times. You need to get 5 of those. Again, 2 headshots without dying 5 times, relatively easy just by playing regular core multiplayer or realism mosh pit. The third of 6 is going to be get 7 long shots while using a pistol. Again, mainly just running around with a pistol, and you'll get this over a short period of time. Mainly realism also, just because you can get the one-shot headshot kill makes it a lot easier. And the next up, objective 4 of 6, is going to be play and complete 4 matches of domination. Again, not hard, just play 4 matches, you're good to go. 5 of 6, get 7 kills using lethal equipments. Now, for this one, I use primarily C4 because it's easy. I just played realism, mosh pit, or domination, or even hardpoint, and basically just running around with Ghost as my field upgrade and coming up behind people or in tight situations and lobbing that C4 and getting the kills. I was able to do this all in one match with a C4. So, again, C4, best way to get these 7 kills using lethal equipment. And then for the objective 6 of 6, call in 5 kill streaks in a single match. So for this one, what I did, I'll just go out and show you guys what I had set up here is for my kill streaks. I ran the personal radar at 3 kills and the UAV at 4, as well as the precision airstrike here at 5 kills. However, with my class setup here, if I go ahead and show off what I was running kill chain, so I'm going to get kill streaks count towards kills. So that's going to go 1 up, even though I'm not really using any streaks that stack for my first 2 because they're both UAV or radars. But hardline is going to make it so your kill streak costs 1 less. So that makes it a little bit easier. So all these kill streaks that I have equipped here, if we go back to the menu, my 3 kill for the personal is only 2. Really easy. And that based off of that personal UAV or the personal radar, I can get 1 more kill. That'll give me 3 kills for the UAV. And again, using the UAV, then I can easily just get 1 more and get the precision airstrike, and I'm good to go. So that's 3 kills basically, or 3 kill streaks just with 4 total kills. And then you die and get 2 more, and you're good to go. So that's the easiest way to do it. Again, I did that all in 1 match, and then you are going to unlock the Grand Rapids blueprint. So 6 objectives. This is a relatively easy one. The best way to do this, I prefer, is realism mosh pit, just because a lot of the kills are a lot easier. Damage models are different, especially for headshot. So that's the best way to do it. If we go ahead and we'll back out, go back to our private match here where we have this thing pre-built. So go ahead to the Grand Rapids. What I'll do is strip this thing down to base. So using the Grand Rapids blueprint, we'll strip this down. You can see that lower of the AR or the M4 is going to be blue. As well as we have a nice black PMAG and black pistol grip, which looks really nice as well, and the black Saltmon stock. So we'll go ahead for the muzzle. We're going to skip out on that because the barrel option here is going to be that FSS 12.4-inch Predator barrel. Now, we'll go over the barrel length for this one later, but the pros here are the sound suppression and the aim-down sight speed. The cons are going to be the bullet velocity. So you can see, first off, versus the base barrel, the Grand Rapids, there's a large difference in the size there, right? Versus the XRK, and the Abaddon is still the same length as the base. So the Grand Rapids gives us the only blueprint that I'm aware of that shorter barrel length. So we'll select that. Laser, we're going to skip. The optic for this one is going to be the Integral Hybrid or the Leopold Hammer. Again, this has a nice blue tint onto it as well. Going to give us that 3.25 with that top-mounted Delta point or the red dot sight. The cons here are the ADS-B because it's a bit of a heavier optic. So we'll go ahead and select that. And again, you can see default, XRK, Grand Rapids just replaces really the black with the blue is really the only difference there. Now the stock option, we're going to go ahead and go no stock. And this again, you can see the base versus the no stock. No blue really on the buttstock option here for the buffer pad. But again, you can see it just makes it a little bit darker, and you have FSS there on the pad itself on the buffer tube. So we'll go ahead and select that. Skip down to the perk, we'll skip that. Rear grip, we'll skip that. You can see the grip itself already looks really clean, so we'll skip that. The ammunition, again, this comes with a Magpul PMag, a black one at that, at base, so it already looks really clean, so we can go ahead and skip that again. This is how the blueprint comes. And the fourth and final attachment for the blueprint is going to be the Ranger foregrip. So the Ranger foregrip at base, you can see how it looks versus the Warpig. This is going to be a cleaner version of the Magpul vertical foregrip. You can see here Warpig versus the Grand Rapids. The Grand Rapids is just nice, clean, and dark. So the same one as really the M13 versus previously the M4. We only had the Warpig, which it still looked really clean, but it had those red screws there to hold on the Picatinny. So this one's just a nice, darker variant of that. Basically the same exact foregrip we have for the Ranger foregrip on the M13. So we'll select that, give us that Magpul foregrip, nice, clean, dark variant. And this is the final design for the Grand Rapids blueprint. Again, really at base, this is basically a Daniel Defense ISR or integrally suppressed rifle of the M4. However, the barrel length is much different. You can see here, the design itself is really cool. I'm not a big fan of the blue camo on this with the different attachments, but it still looks really nice, and that barrel is really nice as well. So you can see it's a 12.4-inch barrel as with the description of the base one. However, it really is around probably 10 inches or maybe a little under. Could be a 9-inch barrel. If we look at the, I'll go ahead and select this. So this M4, I have the shortest barrel available being the 11.5, and you can see the size difference or the length difference on these. If we hover over the 11.5 and then go down to our Grand Rapids blueprint, you can see it's probably about an inch, perhaps a little bit more of length difference there. So it's probably, this is the 11.5 for the Mark 18 barrel. This is going to be either a 10.4 most likely. I would assume it's a little bit over an inch. So I would say this is probably a 10.4 barrel. So we're cutting that down quite a bit in the length. And now if I were to go to this and build it the same attachments as the Grand Rapid, just with the base M4. So here we have all the same attachments. Again, we can see the length difference and the difference with the blueprint option. So here's the base M4 with all of the exact same attachments as the Grand Rapids versus the Grand Rapids. So again, you can see major differences there, mainly the barrel length, and we have the black pistol grip and the black PMag there that is not a windowed PMag. So it looks a lot better there. And obviously the vertical foregrip for the Ranger grip there is much different as well. So those are the different attachment options. Also, the charging handle has that blue tint versus the base black. So that's how it looks. Now, one cool thing here, we can build this up. What we can do with this, I'm a big fan of the base blueprint option or the base M4. So we can go ahead and do something like this. Throw on the Grand Rapids. We can throw on the Grand Rapids blueprint for the foregrip. Maybe a 60-round magazine, something like this. Throw on a camouflage. And you can see there it's going to cover everything but the blue of the suppressor there. So other than that, you have some really nice options with this, and it covers actually the very front of the muzzle of the suppressor, but not the suppressor itself. You still have the blue. But again, doesn't really take anything away from the weapon. I think this still looks really nice. Since you have that shorter barrel, it honestly looks really, really cool. A solid 2 to 2.5 inches shorter than what the base barrel length is for this variant. So if we go back to the Grand Rapids here really quickly, then we'll jump into the gameplay. You can see here, if we were to throw camouflage on this blueprint in general, it's going to cover everything again, but the suppressor and the lower receiver, as well as the optic there, are still going to stay blue, which is true to the weapon blueprint. That looks actually pretty cool with the mix and match there. However, I'm just not a fan of the blue, but overall, this blueprint, awesome blueprint, really changes the whole entire handguard and the length of the barrel, as well as the suppressor as well. So if we go back really quick, we'll just compare those. If I go to the base variant of the handguard, let's go ahead and take off the camouflage. Now just pay attention as I switch between the two. For the handguard, as well as the suppressor, is much bigger on the Grand Rapids. So here's the base handguard for the M4 with the Predator, and pay attention to the handguard as well as the barrel. So you can see major differences there, right? The muzzle or the suppressor itself is much bigger and fatter, so you have a thicker can there. And the handguard, again, you still have a quad Picatinny, but you can see there it's definitely much different, compact, different type of The rails are the same, but you have different handguard overall there. So you have larger gaps there in between the rails. You have those circles versus kind of the hexagon or the rectangular patterns there. It looks really nice. So that's our final design for the Grand Rapids blueprint for the M4. Jumping into the gameplay here, just playing with this on Crash, and you'll see a bit of gameplay with the base M4 version I showed, just with the same barrel option as the Grand Rapids, so you can make a little bit of the mix and match in there for the Franken-Smithing, and you'll see that at the end of the gameplay here. It looks really good. I'm a big fan of this. I unlocked this again just because our community moderator Odin was running this in a Warzone game the other day and was showing it off. And I remember seeing this back when this was introduced. I believe it was Season 5 or 6 to the challenge system. And I actually started to unlock it at that time. However, I never finished it. When Odin was running it the other day and showing it off to me, it kind of made me want to go ahead and go back and finish that. And luckily, I only had the last two. I think it was 4, 5, and 6, I believe I had to finish up of the challenges there. So I did that relatively quickly, was able to unlock it. And it just in core multiplayer with a mix of realism, domination, and hardpoint, was able to get this unlocked pretty easily. Not a hard challenge at all compared to some of the other ones that we have had here in Modern Warfare in the core multiplayer. Relatively easy. And again, definitely worth it because you get a completely different handguard and barrel length, and the foregrip here for the Magpul vertical foregrip there is nice and clean, the exact same as the M13. So it looks really nice. You can do a lot of mixing and matching with this blueprint, which again, this is what I really like to see with blueprints is cosmetic changes to the weapon. This is one of the few that I think falls into that category of a really good blueprint, which is basically a reskin of the weapon, or at least a partial reskin of the weapon, because we have new skins for the entire barrel option there, as well as the foregrip, which just look awesome. It really makes the weapon stand out. And again, with the Franken-Smithing, we can mix and match a lot of different options now. So this is the barrel I'll run. I actually put the this M4 with the Predator barrel in my loadout again recently, and now I just, after I unlocked this, I swapped over to the Grand Rapids blueprint of that just to make it much more compact. I think it looks really, really good. Again, you have a fatter can there, different handguard, darker variant, cleaner variant of the vertical foregrip, the Magpul vertical foregrip there, and it just looks awesome. So I'm a big fan of this blueprint. This is what I like to see with blueprints. Hopefully for Modern Warfare 2, we get more of these reskins for the weapon blueprints. I know we've talked about this a lot in the previous videos. Some of the missed opportunities, obviously partially due to COVID in the one-year development cycle, but you know, we could have had reskins for the AK blueprints to make it look like an AK-12, G36 or the Holger 26 reskin to make it look like an XM8. Just a lot of possibilities to introduce quote-unquote new weapons without introducing new weapons. So the opportunities are really endless here. So hopefully with Modern Warfare 2, I know it took them a while to get the Franken-Smithing up and off the ground, and obviously the different blueprints mixing and matching. So we have a lot more opportunities now, and hopefully with Modern Warfare 2, that's something they build the game on, is basically the blueprints. You have some blueprints that are going to be slight cosmetic changes, but others are going to be very heavy reskins of the weapon. I think would be awesome. And again, it makes for great content, and also something just to grind for as a player, because you have this really unique looking weapon that looks completely different than the base weapon. It gives you something to strive to unlock and grind for, which is important. So these reskins of the weapons I think are really, really good. Basically exactly what blueprints should be in the game, instead of just different color schemas. So this is a good example of that. I'm a big fan. Let me know down below what you guys think of the Grand Rapids blueprint. Have you unlocked it? Do you have it available? I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's only a PlayStation exclusive or if everybody can unlock this. Not really sure. However, I've really not seen anybody use this or cover this. Like I said, Odin using it for the first time the other day got me turned on to this to go back and finish the unlocks for this. Because I remember when it first came out, I was a big fan of it. And at the time, I just wasn't playing too much multiplayer anymore because Realism Mosh Pit was kind of dying out. So went back and did this relatively easily. Let me know down below what you guys think. What do you think of the handguard and the barrel attachments for this, the different cosmetic skins? Are you a fan? Not a fan? Have you unlocked it? Is it console exclusive or not? Let me know down below in the comments. Again, links to social media are down below. Those are the best places to get a hold of me on Instagram and Twitter as well. We have the Discord link down there also. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to give it a like and a subscribe. That helps out smaller channels like me as we are on the road to 30,000 subscribers. So appreciate all the support, and really excited for what we have coming up here with Battlefield 2042, and hopefully here in 2022 with Modern Warfare 2. So a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. Really excited. Let me know down below what you guys think of the Grand Rapids blueprint. Till next time, it's Buffer Gaming, out.